want to welcome everyone to the theme design webinar. We're going to be able to design themes. I'm going to show you some really slick ways to design some Artisteer themes. You're not going to have to be a graphic designer to do this. We're going to show you how to do this without getting too deep into the graphics, but you will need a couple of programs. So let's just go over exactly what you're going to need to start with. Most of you, I think, have Artisteer already. If you don't, there's a link on the membership site that goes right out to Artisteer. You can download a demo copy. You can go ahead and download that, and you can use that, I believe, for 30 days. But you will need Artisteer. Now, with the demo copy, you won't be able to save your themes, out. They will be watermarked, but at least you'll get the design concepts down. The program we're going to be using for the graphics is RealDraw Pro. It's a very powerful program. It's very easy to use. We'll be going through this and show you exactly how to use this program to design the headers and the backgrounds of things that we're going to use. Now, there is a setup file that goes with this, and we're all going to need to be on the same page with the setup file. So all you have to do is just click right here on this link, and I guess it doesn't download. Okay, so I'll need to put that in a zip file, but when I get this zipped and sent out, you'll just be able to click here and download this file. It just sets up the desktop here for RealDraw Pro in exactly the manner that I'm going to use to design. So unfortunately, that came down as just a regular HTML file there. So I'm just going to zip it, send it back out to the directory, and either tonight or tomorrow you should be able to go out there and click on this and download the file. Okay, so Artisteer RealDraw Pro. Now, the other thing we're going to use is screen capture. You don't have to purchase this. I just use this. It's real easy to do. You can use print screen on your PC, but we're going to need to capture the screen for the images. So, I've just provided this really as a service. You don't have to purchase that. Now, the Pixie download or Pixie color matcher, I think everyone has seen me use that on occasion. We're going to need this. It's a free program, and I've given you the link right here to download that, and that matches your colors. We're going to need that to match our colors. It's a lot easier to do than trying to guess what the hexadecimal code is for the colors. Okay, so that's where we are. You'll need Artisteer, RealDraw Pro. You'll need a screen capture utility. It's built into Windows if you're using a Windows machine. And the Pixie Color Matcher, which is a free program. Now, that's basically it, and you'll be able to design these themes just exactly as you've seen on this site, which is the main membership site, and of course on the demonstrations that I had on the first page. You'll be able to design those very easily. Okay, let's get started on RealDraw Pro first. Let's just go over the desktop. Now, the file that I'm going to upload in a zip format, you'll need to take that file, put that on your desktop or wherever you're going to need it, and when you open RealDraw Pro, all you do is go over here to View, Layout, and then Load. And when you load that, this is the name of the file. It'll be rdw4.lt. Just click on that, and that will load your the layout that we're going to use for all of our design. So once you get the layout, just simply upload that file, and that will set up your desktop to, so we can use our RealDraw Pro in our design. So you want to save this also. So I don't know if this new version, the older versions reverted back to the standard setup once you closed it down. So all you have to do to save it is just Layout, Save, and that will go ahead and save it down in this variation right here. So, this is our canvas, this little block of white out here, and then we have the outline window, the color window, and transparency, effects, and bevel window. Now, we're going to be using these three almost exclusively. Of course, this program it has a number of other things down here at the bottom that you can check out: colors and textures, transparency, different types of bevels. Very powerful. So once you get the basics down, you can go through here and see what else this program will do for you. Okay, so you have your basic layout. Let's just go over really the RealDraw Pro and some of the features we're going to be using. Now your navigational menu is over here on the left, and if you just run your cursor over it, you can see exactly the name of each object. Object selector, paint on object, so on and so forth. Really the only things we're going to be using in here for this class is going to be this block right here. See how it turns into an I-beam? That brings up your text object field. The next one right below the text object, this is our image file field, so it'll bring up a window and we can load our image files just using that. And then we have the rectangle field. If you click on the down arrows here, you'll see this window fly out. So you've got a rectangle, you have a cornered object, and then we have an object within an object. So you can just draw these out basically. So what we're going to mainly be using in here is the rectangular object, and all we're going to be doing is, so you can draw this out, and then it creates a colored box, and we're going to be using this a little bit. Okay, so you can go down and see exactly, play around with this. There's a helps menu up here with about and help, and that'll give you a little bit more information about what the power of this particular program. Now, one of the neat things about this, let's just go grab a square and color it. Now, for this this particular tool here, we can just right-click on an object, and we can also pick a color. Now, if we had another object in here, let's just say right now we're showing, see the colors as it changes, the orange, the gray, the purple, green. We can point this on any color, and it will change this box to whatever color we're pointing at. You see that what happened there? I just left-clicked, did a color pick. Now let's just do silver. See how it changes the color? Very easy. So we can match any color just by using this little tool right here. So right-click on any object, do the color pick, and it will change the color of the object. Another neat little feature here is if we bring an object in, just grab any object here. Just grab an apple icon. And let's just say we want to drop this color out here on the side. All we have to do is go up here, grab this color transparency, click on this, and see it drops it out. Now, you may have to work on this a little bit. Let's see how it actually shows through. See, it turns it into a transparent layer so you can actually see the box through here. This is really good for dropping out backgrounds and getting rid of colors and things like that that you may not want in your final rendering. Okay, so that just, you see how that the colors of the little box are coming through. You can find this tool right up here. So we're going to be using color transparency, the text, the bitmap or the photograph, and the rectangle. It's about all we're going to be using in this particular application. Okay, any questions on RealDraw Pro? You can download a 30-day evaluation copy of that. I think if you want to purchase it, it's $55. It's very inexpensive. It's just as powerful, in my opinion, as Photoshop. So, if you don't have a graphics program and you want to do this to create your own graphics for your sites, this is the program to get. It doesn't have a huge learning curve, unlike Photoshop, which is very very steep learning curve. Okay, let's get started then. Okay, for Artisteer, we're going to go over the layout in Artisteer. Now, a lot of you have been using Artisteer. There may be some things that you're not familiar with, but we're going to use Artisteer exclusively to design our themes. So when you first start Artisteer, you want to make sure that you're using the latest version, and the latest version is 21098, this guy right here. We're on version 2.3, so if you're any earlier version, you want to upgrade. If you have a license, your license should be good. You'll be able to upgrade very easily. But the edition that we want is want to make sure that's 21098. And if you go into the download here, get Artisteer Now, that will take you right out to the download. And that will get you over here to CNET, and you can download the latest version, as you can see, 2.3.0.21098. So that's where we want to be. When you first start Artisteer, this is the default image that you'll have in here, the default theme. So you can change this very easily. You can just do a Suggest Design, just click on the button, and it will go through and change any of your designs very quickly and very easily. You want to get back to the default, just do a new, choose WordPress, and it'll take you right back to the default. On all of our themes, we're going to do some simple things. Okay, we're going to get rid of what looks like a blog. So the dates, the authors, the edits, the comments, the tags, categories, everything that is associated with the blog, we're going to drop out. And how we do that is we choose our article tab, and then we just come right over here and we choose to uncheck date, author. You see they're disappearing here. Edit, category, tags, and comments. So that will just clean up the workspace here. So as you can see, it's starting to look more and more like just a regular HTML site. We want the power of WordPress, but we don't want the look of the blog. We want to change that, get rid of all that stuff. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the headline and the tagline, so we don't want any text there. So you can choose that right here in header. Now there is an effects by default, and that is this starburst. We want to go over here to effects and use glare and just come up here to none. So it just takes us right over to just a blank sheet. Now we do this for every single thing. I don't use any glare or any of the effects. We'll build the effects, we'll build the glare outside of Artisteer and import that information in, or import those files in. Okay, the thing about Artisteer is you can use the themes in on any site that you want. You can sell them, do whatever you want, except for one thing. Now on your header here, you'll have foreground photos. You cannot use any of these photos in any of your exported themes. These are all copyrighted photos, and they do not give you, come up with a theme, so you'll go through suggest, on your idea, suggest design. Some of them will have designs up here. If it has a design, you like the theme, and it has a design with any photograph of people or objects or whatever it is, you cannot use these, you cannot export them because there is a copyright on them. So just make sure that you choose no photo and get rid of them, and you should be good to go. Okay, a few questions here. Let me just go over these. Jeff asked about PSD images, which are the Photoshop default images in RealDraw Pro. That's correct. You cannot import PSD images in RealDraw Pro. And Jeff says you can redesign existing WordPress theme Can you redesign an existing WordPress theme like Revolution? Not in Artisteer. You can't import any theme into this, nor can, because those are copyrighted themes, you can't break them apart and redesign them except for their dashboard. We're going to stick with Artisteer. We're going to create our own themes, and then we're not going to have any problems doing any of those types of things. Okay, so we've gotten rid of, over here on articles, we got rid of the date, the author, the edit, the category, the tags, and the comments. The next thing we want to take a look at is there's two things that you need to change over here. On table or border width is already set at 1 pixel. Now what a table is this block right down here. It tells you this is a table. Now if you export this into WordPress, anytime you put a table or anything that looks like a table, like if you're importing a sales page from another product, let's say, and you drop it into WordPress, a lot of HTML is built using tables. If it has the table information, it will drop it into WordPress. That's why you have so many problems importing sales pages into WordPress, because of the HTML formatting. One of those formats is the table. Well, in this particular table, this particular instance, they're automatically set to show up as a border. So even though the table does not show up, the border will. And we don't want that. We want to get rid of that. So just choose no border. And the same thing goes for pictures. If we import any images into our site, they'll have a 1 pixel border around them by default. But we just want to go ahead and change that border width to no border. Okay, a couple of other things that we can do in here, just to make some changes while we're on this, is you see on your list here, a bulleted list has the dots. Now you can change this if you want. So if you're going to use this for a sales page or something and you don't like these dots or whatever image is in here, because each theme is different, you can go in here and you can change the picture. You can choose a check mark. You can choose paper. You see it changing down here. You can choose the pointers. See, as you go over them, it all changes. I like the check marks a lot, so I'll just keep them. I'll just change them to check marks. And the size is a little bit small too. So what I'll do is they're at 12. I'll move them up to a 14 size. So just make it a little bit, a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have our basic theme, and we have our borders, or we have our date, author, edit, category, tags, and comments all gone. Borders around pictures have been reduced, and the borders around tables are now gone. So we really have this set up to where we can start working with it now. Okay, one of the things we want to do is we want to keep in mind our fonts. Now you've got huge amount of fonts that you can use from within Artisteer. You click on the colors and fonts, and you can choose your font set. By default, you have probably 5 or 6. I'm not sure on the $49 version. I have the full-blown version, and you may have a few more fonts in this. But nevertheless, you can still create your own font sets. So as you can see in here, if we just choose a set, you see how the fonts change. And they'll change in size, and they'll change in design. So you can just go over these, and this is easy way to change your font style. Now I never leave my fonts the same, and I'll show you just how I did. Let's go back over here. See, these fonts right here that you see on this page are all fonts that I basically designed the theme around within Artisteer. I didn't design this in HTML. This is strictly an Artisteer design. And how I did it was I just took a font set and I edited that set. It doesn't matter which set you don't want to save it back as the same set, but you can just go ahead and edit the set, and now you can choose any of the fonts that are available in Artisteer. Now for headers and H1, H2 tags, I choose fonts that are easy to read. Well, on this last theme, they are not that easy to read, but they are nice looking. But mainly I choose like Arial Black. These aren't the greatest themes in the world for design, but they're really great to be able to read from. And Impact is also a great theme for a header, like H1 header. So you've got Impact right here. And I'm not sure how you pronounce this particular thing. Hattensweifer, I believe, or something like that. So you've got this. This is a great for heading. And then, so you've got your heading font, and then you have your text font. So you want to choose something that you can read. So if you do a preview on this, this will change all of your fonts. See how that goes over. It's a little bit harder to read. Okay, so we do not want that font set, so it takes it back. So on that particular, on the set that you just saw, that is Broadway for the header. As you can see here, the font just changed. And then the second font, the body font, is Verdana. Very easy to read. Now, the size is also a consideration. You'll have sizes, mainly on most blogs, the size is extremely small, very difficult to read. So I like to choose somewhere between 110 and 120%. So as you can see, you can go up on your sizes here. You see how the body is changing to where you can actually read it. It's not so tiny. So just make sure that it doesn't push out your sidebars, because this is built within WordPress. You're probably not going to have too many problems with this. But just get the font somewhere that's a little bit more readable. 120% is where probably 90% of my sites are built, around the 120% font size. Typography, now you can go with a classic, simple, small. You can just run that over and see it'll change. So this is a large, centralized, right justified. See how everything goes to the right over here. You got left justified, wide, simple, small, so on and so forth. Just change it the way you want to change it. You can also edit the typography. You can choose your headings, H1 tags, H2, H3, 4, 5, and 6. You can change your quotes. You can do whatever you'd like to do in here. So it's extremely powerful. Quotes, of course, go down here. Okay, so that's basically, we've set this site up. Let's get back to a font set that's a little bit less aggressive. And make sure we're at 120%. So this is our theme that we've started with, and we've gotten rid of. Again, go into articles, date, author, edit, category, tags, comments. We've changed table, border width to no border, picture, no border, and bullets. This is strictly up to you, however you want to do it. I've picked the check mark, and I've taken the size from 12 default up to 14. Okay, so now you can do any number of other things with this. Let's go ahead and choose our blocks. Now, our blocks are going to be found over here in the sidebar. So on the default, the sidebar is going to be on the right. You can change that with our layout. You can just choose your columns. You can choose really wide. You can choose thin. Now, if you're going to do AdSense on a site or build a site with AdSense in it, if you choose this size right here, you have to choose 120 by 600. That's 160 will not fit in here. So keep that in mind. 160 fits in the middle section. 160 by 600 fits in here just fine. And then really wide. I never use the really wide. It just, for some reason, it just doesn't appeal to me, so I never use it. Strictly up to you, though, whatever you'd like to do. And, of course, you can change this around. You could put 2 on one side. You can put them on either side. You can make them larger. You can also custom design your own widths. You can go in here and just tell it what size you want and as a percentage, and then it will go ahead and take on that size. I just stick with the defaults. On sales pages, if you're doing a sales page, you just want one column. You don't want anything on that page. Very easy to do. You get rid of the whole column altogether. On the page layout, again, you can do simple. If you're doing a sales page, get rid of that, get rid of your columns. So here's your sales page. You just have one blank page. Very easy to do. One column, and we're back to the default. Okay, so you can put the header with the menu bar down here. You can put the header with the menu bar up on top. You can just put header only. I do this quite a bit, just make it real clean. You can just choose no header and just a menu, and then just a simple would be for sales page. This is what I use for my sales page, just a blank. And this is what I'm using on most of my custom. I'm just using a blank like this. There's nothing in here, no columns, and that's exactly what I do right here. Let's just get back to the default. Okay, so on blocks, right over here, if you want to keep your blocks, now you can do a padding on your blocks. Right now we're set at 7. You can do 10. You can do 15. As you can see, it's changing over here. You can do no padding, so it goes right out to the side. See how the block comes in here and you've got the padding around it? If you choose no padding, it just goes right to the side. See, it just bleeds right out to the side. Let's go back to our default of 7. The header, we can put text in there. We can do colors, so you can change your colors. See how that changes over here for the header? Right now it's dark. You can choose light. You can choose other colors. This is what we'll use Pixie for. If we want to match a color, we'll just go ahead and choose colors, and we'll drop that color down in here as a hex number, and it will match perfectly. So you can change that all there. And content, obviously your content is down here. You can change the padding on that, make that larger, smaller, however you'd like to set it up. I don't get involved in this very much. I leave it pretty much the same. I do change this if I'm going to use the header. I change the header, and I usually, so you go back over here to header, and I choose a sheet, and I choose the padding on that, and I'll just choose no padding. And see, that shoves the header right out to the side. Same thing with the footer. Now if we choose padding over here for, let's say, 3 pixels, and you can't hardly see it on here, but you see how that comes in. Probably need to choose a little bit more. Let's go 10 pixels. See how this drops in? Now the footer will change exactly the same. So the footer comes in from the side. I just like my headers with no padding, and the footers go out the exact same way. Okay, so that's headers, footers, and the sheets. We've talked a little bit about the blocks. And let's see, top offset, we can offset the sheet. Right now we're right up at the top. We can move that down to 75 pixels, 100 pixels. See how it moves down the sheet? Or we can move it to a maximum of 100 pixels or 200 pixels offset. So now we've moved it way down the sheet. I do this on a lot of mine. So we move it down the sheet here and we run it. I'll show you just on this guy right here. So it's exactly what I've done. I've moved the sheet down, and see, I've fixed the background so you can scroll the sheet up. See, the sheet will scroll up over the writing, and the background remains fixed. That's exactly how I did this. You'll be able to do this, no problem. Exactly what I did here. You just run the top offset down to 200. We can't do it any more than that. So we're building between 200 and the top offset. Width, you can change any of the widths from 600 up to 1,000, or we can go even more just by choosing this up to 1,500. So you can go this wide. You can go even smaller than 600. You can go down to 500. Very small sheet here. So it's just a ton of things that you can do with Artisteer to create these custom themes. What most people do is they start Artisteer, they go to the idea, they punch a few suggestions in here. Yeah, I like that one. And they save it, export it, and it looks exactly like a WordPress theme. They don't do anything to it. And we're gonna get you to a point where you're not doing that. Oh, here's a good example. I think this might be. Okay, that's not a sheet. Okay, that's okay. I was thinking that this is an image that would have a copyright on it, but it's actually embedded in the header itself, so we're okay there. All right, now on your themes, you can choose colors and fonts. So what I do a lot is if I have a certain theme, then I'll choose a color to go with that. So it's mainly built around, for example, on this guy here, the whole background was the color. So because it was the grays, the purples, the blacks, real dark colors, I chose for the main sheet to be gray. But I wanted that purple color in here. So all I did on this was to create this theme, was go in here, and after I created that, I just picked blackberry juice, and that's exactly the theme that I used, or the colors. You'll see that I did a little bit of overlay on this, but that's exactly the same theme. So it takes the gray outline of the white sheet, puts everything else purple, and see how that changes to gray there. I got rid of the header, the menu items, and that's exactly the sheet I used. Okay, for transparency, how you get this sheet white, we want it to go white here. By default on this particular theme, the sheet is transparent. So all we have to do is we choose no transparency, and then see the sheet comes in white. So transparency, 60% is usually by default, up to 100%, and then the whole sheet will just disappear into the background, okay? You just don't have a sheet there at all. There's no outline. There's nothing. So if we get rid of the header and the columns, see, you just have a blank sheet just with a footer on it. It just floats over your background. Now you do a top offset, let's just say of 100 pixels. And see how that just floats? Okay, this is exactly what I used on, we'll just go over here to, just doing a fast overview right now. Just go over to the sales page. This is the technique I used on the orange paint. So on orange paint, we'll just go over to that site very quickly. You see how that floats over the orange paint? Orange paint's at the top. This is completely transparent. All I did here was I created a transparent sheet, and it just floats over my background. That's exactly how I did it, and I made it orange so it fit right in. So it's just really, really easy to do this stuff. We don't have to get super involved. It's just a matter of knowing what to do. Okay? Any questions up to now? I'm just giving you a high-level overview so that you get an idea of what we're going to do before we actually jump in and get started. Any questions? Okay. Let's go ahead and put this transparency back to 60. Layout, header, and menu. And let's go ahead and let's just put the top offset back up to the top. So return it kind of a default situation. Now, for scrolling, you see how this scrolls up the page, the background remains fixed. All we do here is we just choose background options, and then we just choose scroll or fixed. If we want it to scroll, now the background will go ahead and it will move with the site. See, we move the site, see everything scrolls with it. If we want to fix it, all we do is we just choose scroll, fix, and then that fixes the background. See, the background is not moving, and then the site moves over the background. Now with the background, you can choose images. You can choose your images out of here, and that will bring in your different images. What I'm going to show you how to do is actually build your backgrounds and build your sites so they don't look like they came from Artisteer. So we're not going to use too many of these. We may use some gradients every now and then. So you can choose a background and you can choose a gradient. You see how that changes light to dark. We choose dark down, so see, it starts darker and just fades to light. These are some of the things that we want to do to create a site that looks totally different. It's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Okay, now we're going to go out and I'm going to show you exactly where we grab our images from. The first thing you can do is you search on free clip art. If you search on free clip art, the first thing that comes up is Microsoft Office. Within Microsoft Office, there's all kinds of free clip art. You're totally free to use that. It's included with Microsoft Office. It's royalty free. You don't have to pay to use it. As you see down here in Google, you have all kinds of returns on here. Here's 25,000 images free clip art. You just have to go through and search for some clip art that that suits your fancy. So animated images, stock images, whatever it is. And you can find these places. Here we go back out to Google. Some of these sites are worthless, but so here's a light blue, 9 light blue backgrounds. So you can just go ahead and capture these. This is just a small block, and all you do is, if you want the large view, just right-click, save the image, and you've got a background. So it can be, as easy as just a block, or you can go over to RealDraw Pro and create this very easily. But there's all kinds of places that have free clip art. That's basically what I do. I use a lot of stuff out of Microsoft Office, and I have tons and tons of clip art on my drive. So you use the free stuff. Here's welcome to the largest collection of royalty-free clip art. Some of them, they will charge you, even though it's free clip art, they will charge you, and it's a membership site. So, even though you may like the image, and these, the higher quality the images, sometimes the higher the cost. So here's a GIF, non-interlaced, and of course they want a subscription. So you have to make the decision if that's something you want to do. Join for the clip art. See, 1 week is $15. So if you can go in and just download, for $15, download just as much as you can possibly get your hands on. They may have a limit on this too, but just check around. There's tons and tons of images on the net that are free. So the first thing is you search for free clip art. Next thing you can search for is free images. Just do a Google search on free images, and you'll have free stock photos, free images, and of course the biggie, which is iStock Photo. Now I purchase images from time to time from iStock, and it's just simply a cost of doing business. So it depends on, it's up to you whether you want to buy the images or not. But you can do a search. Let's just do Christmas. And they'll have tons and tons of images for Christmas. So all of these images, see, are watermarked. As you can see here, it says iStock Photo on them. High quality images. And then you can choose, what size, and then it counts as a credit. And so when you purchase the image, it's so many credits, and you purchase so many credits. And most images that I buy are somewhere between about $8 and $9 up to $15. I don't get the large images. The large images you can see here, these are 2582 by 1904, 5 megs. If you stay right around small or extra small, it's it's 3 credits, it's going to be 807 pixels. You can work with that very easily, and it's not going to cost you a whole bunch of money. And it'll be royalty free. For backgrounds, you can go ahead and choose free wallpapers. Just do a search for free wallpaper, and you'll find literally tons and tons of free wallpaper. These are absolutely free. So you can go in here, you can grab cars. Here's an Audi, and it gives you the sizes. So here's a 1024 768. Here's a Porsche. I think this is a Porsche. And oh, that's an Audi. And you can just, you can save the image. These are royalty free, and these are great for car sites. And I'm going to show you how to. That's a high quality image. I'm going to show you how that you can take this image and turn this into a really great looking site, nothing flat. These are all free. And make sure you read. And here's some fine art. These are great for really some really great graphics. So they've got this is watermarked, original creations, meant for viewers' desktops only. So there's not distribute the file from another website, offered for sale, included on CDs, or used for printed material. So they're saying you can't use that. So here again, move on. You got to make sure that you can use the material that you're getting. There's just tons and tons of free things out there. There's no reason to grab stuff that you cannot use. You don't want somebody coming to you later on and giving you grief over something that's on your website, especially if you've sold it. So here's another one. It's a 3D coral reef, blah blah blah, and it's a wall top, or it's a wallpaper. Again, check to see if there if there's any licensing limitations on them. The other thing you can do, of course, is the old Google standby, which is you can get the wallpapers. You have to really be careful on Google. Here's a free wallpaper. Here's a free wallpaper. So when you click on them, you can see, and they'll say free wallpaper, download free wallpaper. So this may or may not be free. It may be a copyrighted image. But this is off of a movie, I believe. I'm not mistaken. That may be a copyrighted image, even though they say it's free. So you just have to really be careful. Here's another image. You could certainly turn this into a nice-looking site very easily. Show you how to do that, of course, in this course. But that's really not big enough to be using. That's why we pick wallpapers. We want some really neat images that are fairly big. That's a Linux wallpaper. Here's a computer desktop. That's pretty cool looking. So you could simply grab this image and then turn this into something. If it in fact is free, it's marked down here www.terradreams.denmark.de. So you just have to be careful. The greatest place in the world that I get a lot of my backgrounds is WordPress themes, free WordPress themes. And how we can check to see on this is simply the terms of use. If any of when you go out to search for any free WordPress theme, check the site. All the sites are different. If you look on the terms of use in here, the agreement, they basically tell the person, if you upload your theme here, we can use it. You state that you own all the images, you own the copyright, if there's any copyright material, so on and so forth, and we can use it any way that we see fit. So they give them total carte blanche, and so they're turning around and they're passing that on in the free themes. You can do anything with these themes that you want. You can sell them, you can flip them, put them on websites, whatever you want to do. So I don't use the websites because I don't want all the backlinks and all the other issues that go with the free themes, but I choose the background. So just go down through here. I get tons and tons of backgrounds out of here. Just grab a theme. So this would be a good party background. All we want to do is we found this site, Now all we do is we do view, we right click, do view background image. So there's the background image. We can turn this into a site very, very easily. Okay, let's actually save this down. Load this down into my scroll too far. So I'm just going to call this party. Oh, I guess we already had it. So when I'm out perusing and I find something I like, I just go ahead and save it. Never know when you're going to need it later on. It could come in handy. Here's a green pigment. I know I've grabbed this one. This is a really nice thing. So again, right click out here somewhere in the background, not on the site itself, out here in the background. View background image, and see you get the image. Now, we can use this. This would be a great image to use for a custom theme. Very easy to do. I already have that one, so I'm not going to grab it. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, here's a Michael Jackson theme. View the background image. There's the background image. We could turn this into a site very, very easily. Here's a great theme also, cut and paste. See how this is jammed way over to the right-hand side here. Some of these people who design these things, it's unbelievable. Okay, so here's a really good background that we can use, and this is I'm going to show you how to grab this right now. Okay, this is the background image, and this is the WordPress theme that's dropped in the middle of it. I don't want this junk in the middle. So I'm going to use my screen capture utility. This is exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to grab this and let's just go over here. Just grab that. Okay, so I'm just going to call this left border. Let's actually put this into its own folder. So this is left colorful for lack of a better description. That's a JPEG format, and I'm going to grab the right one right over here. That's all we need. And I think we're okay on the size. We're going to call this right. Colorful. I just wanted to do that while I was here. We're going to be using these later on in our design class. Let's grab this, or let's take a look at this one. This is a lot of oranges. Yeah, I think this would be good. Okay, you get the idea. Just go and grab some decent looking backgrounds. Very easy to do. Now, any questions, concerns, comments? We're all on the same page. Okay, I'm going to throw together a site very quickly. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it. So is everyone ready to get started? Yes, no? We're all good to go? Can everyone still hear me? All right. Julie says yes, so I'm still getting out. All right. Okay, for this design, let's let's just grab a simple background and drop it into here. So we've started our Real Draw Pro. We're going to click on our image. We're just going to click on our sheet out here, our work environment. Let's go to backgrounds, and let's just pick something to start off with that's fairly easy. Well, actually, let's just do the, I think the fairies will work, so you guys have all seen those. Okay, this was a background that I grabbed, and all we do is the image is we bring the image in. So that's the image that I captured off of. This was a wallpaper. This is a free wallpaper. It's exactly where I got it. So what we want to do is we want to go up here to Project, because the image that we bring in and our working canvas is a lot different size. So we want to make sure that it's the same size. So we go to Project, we do a Trim Canvas, and boom, you see that? It dropped it right on the canvas really quick. Do a Trim Canvas, it's done. Now we can take a look at the size and color. So the width is 1136, the height is 676. We are good with that. I think that looks pretty good. It may be a little bit thin in here, but let's work with it, see what it looks like. All we have to do, we're not going to do anything with this other than just save it. So we go up here to File, Bitmap Export, and we're going to save this in JPEG format. Okay, so you can save in bitmap, PNG, GIF. You can mega render it, which make it a whole lot bigger, but we're going to save it in JPEG. We just want a simple JPEG, and we want 100% quality. We do not want to lose any quality. So we're going to export this, and we're going to export it over as, let's just go fairy background. Going to save it. Oh, we've got the asterisk in there. Doesn't like that. And we come back over here to Artisteer. Now I'm just going to go out here and start a new session with Artisteer. Okay, on this, I'm basically going to go to my articles. I'm going to get rid of the date, author, edit, category, the tag, and the comments. Remember, we go to table, no border, picture, no border, and or we can change the bullets on this. It's not going to be a big deal. Where's my check marks? Check marks. And size is 14. I think we're good on all that. We're going to get rid of the header. You're going to keep it simple page with no columns. So we've already changed this. Okay, now we're going to take that fairy image and we're going to drop it in the background. So we choose background from file and we just go get it. That's all we're doing. Did I save that in the right? Here we go. It'll bring it in on the top left. What we want to do is we want to top center it. That looks good. We're going to drop it in right there. Okay, now we want to go ahead and change the transparency of our sheet to no transparency. And we want to change the width. We want to get that width down a little bit here. So let's just back it off to 700 to see if let's go to 600. That looks pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna offset the top padding. Well, let's actually do the top offset instead of padding. Let's just go 100 pixels. Let's see if that does it. Let's just start with that. I think that'll be good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the background. So we go to Options, we fix the background, doing OK on that, and see now we'll be able to scroll and the fairies will stay. See? They're okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the overall colors because I don't like this color with this too much. Let's see if we can't find a color to go with that that's a little more appropriate. The oranges, I think that works a little bit better. Gold. We don't care about the background right now because that background's going to go away. Right now I'm just looking at the text and the page color. That's all we're doing is we're setting up the text and the page color. I like that. So we got to change the oranges. So there's a green. Doesn't look too bad. Let's go with Mustang. Let's see what that looks like. Still too green. We just picked Mustang a minute ago. So black and yellow. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. So that really goes with this, I think, outline. So we've got a dark sheet, and then we've got our dark background. See, the yellow kind of fits right in with that. All right, now we're going to change our background. All we have to do is we get our pixie out. You can do this, the same thing with, you know that the colors for black is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we're going to just take that, do our fill color. We're going to just copy the exact black in here because we don't know what this black is, even though it comes out here on hex, it's 0, 0. But we're just going to put our cursor there, do a Control-C to copy. We're going to come back over here to background, do a fill color. We're going to put that fill color right in hex, do Control-V. See, look at that. Now it's just, we blended the background with the fairies, okay? That's all we've done. Yeah, that color that's not working for me. Maybe we can get that, let's see if those oranges change a little bit. Whoa, too much. Too much yellow. Let's go back to our color scheme. This is where you get to play around with it a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Not too much. That's a blue. I really like the orange lettering. Okay, let's go with that. Now we got to go back to our background, change that again to drop it out. Okay, I like the yellow. I don't care for this too much. So what we can do is we can go with the sheet transparency, and we can go with like a 60%. Let that come through. And let's just go with a little bit. Let's go to 100. Let's see what that looks like. Wow, that's really dramatic. I like that a lot. Let's okay, the footer down here, I like the oranges. See how that white just snaps off of that black. I would like an outline though. Let's see if we could do a border color. Well, let's just see if we could do a border. Let's just do maybe 5 pixels. And let's just change the color to maybe a little bit orange and bring the transparency maybe down a little. We're at 100% now. Let's take it to 90 and see what it looks like. That'll bring the border in a little bit. See, just a faint hint. I think we could probably do with a little bit more. Okay, so that's just a faint hint of color. So it stands off just a little bit from the background. And this footer, we can go ahead and change very easily. Just take our RSS. drop something that's a little more transparent for the RSS feed, so that's a little more transparent. And then I like to do a gradient. This may be a little bit too thick down here, so let's go ahead and change this padding for text padding. Let's just, no, that's a little bit bigger. Let's drop it down to 5 pixels. There, that's a little bit better. And also, remember we talked about our sheet as far as our padding. We're at 10. Let's see if we could drop it down to 3. We're not going to go all the way out to the edges, but just shove it out just a little bit more. Then we're going to do a little bit of a gradient on that footer to make it stand out a little bit. Okay, so there's a little bit of a gradient. That's gray. Okay, so I like that. And just see how it floats over. You see the leaf here on the back. You can see the outline here. Now, if you want to do a little bit of a header, that's strictly up to you. You know, you can do a little bit of a header in here, and you know, put whatever you're going to do. I think that's pretty dramatic, just the way it is. And that is and so you can drop your text in, and it shows up because it's a white. The orange fits right in. This is a perfect, you know, Halloween type of theme or something like that. That's phenomenal. Okay, any questions on this particular theme and how I did it? What does everyone think of that theme? Pretty easy? Too hard? I don't get it. Yeah, Julie says even she could do that. Yeah, absolutely. So this is just some of the easy ways that you can turn these themes around and make them very dramatic. So we set this off just a little bit, so we've got a little bit of a transparency factor working there, but we've set it at 90% so that you can see. So we go back to the sheet here. You can drop it down even more, 80%, and it'll really start to come in. See, we've got a little bit of a hint of our border. That's too much, but at 90, I think that works really well. So you've got a little bit of a hint of the orange on the border, and we've got it's not so transparent that it just completely floats on its own. You can actually see that there's a little bit of a sheet there, and then you can fill your information in and you know, build out your website. And that is a dramatic change from just a simple you know, WordPress theme, and especially an artist steer theme. Very easy to do. That was pretty simple. So we'll save this. Now, when you save, let's just take a look at it in Firefox and see what it looks like. Okay, very nice. See, we're just rolling over that. Background stays fixed. And let's say you want this a little bit bigger. Let's just save this first and spread this out, give us more real estate. Let's just go save as. I'm just going to save it as a thinner background. Okay, so we want more space in here. Okay, all we have to do is, remember our original object, size and color. The object was, the width is 1136. Let's add 150 pixels on each side, or approximate 150. Let's go out to 1400. Keep the same height. See what that does. Okay, that takes the background and shoves it out here. All we have to do is we just move this out a little bit. It's going to, we don't want our, so they get spread out. Okay, that's what I was concerned about. Okay, in this case, here's how we do it. We're going to get our screen capture. We're going to cut the left one out And we're just going to drop this in on very left. And we're just going to grab this. You don't want any white on this. It's all dark, so make sure you watch where you're doing your cutting. They don't have to be exact either. So very bright. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this image and we're going to drop the very left in and the very right. Go back up here to custom backgrounds. There's our left. Want to make sure it's 100%. And we just grab our images and go right. Make sure that's 100%. Okay, so we want to set this up to where we don't see any white around here at all. Move this over to the side. Move this over to the left. So we're just going to pull this down. And we got this big old blob of white in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a rectangle tool. We're going to grab a rectangle and we're just going to drop it onto the page. Color picker, choose the black. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove this to the back right here on these little buttons. Send to back, bring to front. We're just going to shove it to the back. See how we did that? Just click right there. Bring it to the front, disappear. Shove it to the back. Cover up that. Now we have our dramatic black background. Got a little white out here to the side. So I want to extend that black out. So we want to hide, we don't want, any white sneaking through. Okay, that's a little wider. Let's go ahead and save this. You can see it right here. Here's the fairy. You can move it around. There you go. Save this as fairy background 2, or large, let's just call it that. Do a save. Now go back into Artisteer and go to our background. Now let's just go grab our wider image to see how small this is. Going to grab our wider image. Again, top center. That may be too wide, but you get the idea. This sheet width, let's go out here 900. Actually, that might be okay. We're good on that. So let's fix it. Still a scroll fix. So we just widened it out a little bit and put a bigger map in here. I think the smaller works a little bit better than the wide, just in my personal opinion. So I'm going to go back to something a little bit. I think this works a little bit better. Does everyone agree? Or you can make it any size you want. Okay, real easy to do. There's our setup with the scrolling in here. Any questions? Questions, concerns, comments? Now we can import this out. Now when you save these, here's just a little tidbit of information. On the export options, this is what's great about Artisteer. You want the footnote. I don't include the backward links to Artisteer and CMS, which is the WordPress. I just keep my author backlink in. Now on this, you can put your name in here, your URL, your template version. I don't put any of the tags in, and then you want to call it whatever you call it. Now here's a great thing. If you're selling these and you link back to one of your main sites, it automatically provides you with the backlink. So just a little tidbit of information in there when you save these and you export them out. If you sell the templates or you have them on websites that you flip, this little information down here will go out and it'll just be all over the internet, go viral. Your stuff will be all over, and you'll have all these backlinks pointing to your site. Okay, so there's a real easy theme that it didn't take very long at all to complete. The fairy theme, black background, drop in the sheet, choose a color that is complementary to our background, and then just, we can scroll it, do whatever we want on that. Okay, questions? Everyone good? Excellent. Okay, so go back here to New, WordPress, and on this sheet, let's just go back over here and start fresh. What we're going to do is we're going to take those two sheets that you saw a minute ago and put it together on the left and a right. So the left colorful and the right colorful. You can see these as icons. Remember this, we cut these out and we had that little tiny sheet in the middle. Okay, when you bring these in, sometimes RealDraw Pro puts them at a certain percentage, just down from 100. We want 100. So put that in there. Let's grab the right side. Make sure that's 100. Put that over here. And now let's go ahead and make the sheet a certain size. So let's just go with our width right now. Let's just say 1100. And our height, let's just go 600. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing where we need it to be. It's pretty close. So you drop this guy in, drop this guy in. It doesn't really matter down here at the bottom. You see how this is fading to white? It doesn't really matter because it's just going to fade into the background. It won't be noticeable. So let's just move this over a little bit. And because it is a white background, we don't have to take and block off anything here. Just, so we do a square and then call it white. We don't have to do that in this instance. So we've got our left side and our right side. Everyone see that? Okay, we're going to save this as a JPEG again. So you can go ahead and move your image around. We're going to export this. And let's just go up here to backgrounds. Let's just call this colorful. Okay, we're going to do a simple import of the background. And we're going to center it. And let's go ahead and get rid of the columns and the header. Take our sheet. Let's let's pick something that probably about 700. We may need to go a little wider on this because it's going to get us down to, I think we're just going to be too thin. Maybe not. That looks okay. Okay, transparency factor of no transparency. Get rid of date, author, category, tags, comments, and let's go ahead and go with our color themes. Now we want something that's probably blue, maybe even pastel. Here's a simple pastel. There's some oranges. Let's see how this works. Yeah, that looks pretty doggone good right there. Okay, again, background, it's going to be white. We can use our pixie checker just to make sure, though, because sometimes these whites are deceptive, but we can see here on our hex it's all FFF. We'll just do Control-C. We're going to do, it's all FFFFFF, 6 of them. Yeah, we didn't do that right. So let's just do this. Move this over. Okay, see, we've just gone ahead and moved this. Not sure if that orange works, but so see, this just fades into white. That fades out to white. Got a nice little header there. Let's go ahead and fix the background. See, now we're going to scroll. So see, we scroll up. Again, very easy to do. Now, if you want a header in here, you can put your header. You can put, sidebar. You can put this out and make it a little bit wider. But there's a, if you want a sales page, this is a really nice sales page that you've just created, and it scrolls. The background remains the same. Now, you can do it top offset. But see, you've got that blank white in the middle. That's the only thing. There's no colors up here. So when you go offsetting, so you've got this blank in here. That's why I did a top offset of 0. So you can scroll up, so no one's going to see the white, but they see the sides. And again, we could push this bottom out. I'm not sure that bottom color goes with anything in here. So let's just change the bottom color to this color right here. Very easy to do. Let's just use Pixie, and let's just do this little blue in here. Let's see what it looks like. Control-C, footer. Let's change our RSS. Do our fill color. There's the blue. I think that looks a little bit better. And let's go ahead and run our padding out to no padding. So see, that'll run out to the edge. And let's give it a little bit of a gradient. It's going to be very light. So that kind of jumped off the page a little bit. Let's see if we can back that down a little bit. There we go. A little bit of a gradient. And let's just drop a shadow in on this page. So we'll come over here to Sheet, Shadow. Let's try Glow first and see if that makes it stand out a little bit. See how that just jumps off the page, gives a little bit of depth. Let's check the shadow and see if that does something. Not too much. There, we got a little bit of a glow. See how that just kind of goes around there? Now we've got a 3D effect. It's just a little bit of effect to see where that page now stands out from the background. Everyone see how I did that? And see, those colors work very well. You've got the grays, the oranges, you've got the grays, the oranges, the light blues. It all works together. Everyone see that? Any questions about that? You've created another theme very quickly. Doesn't look anything like an Artister theme. Questions, concerns? Okay, let's go ahead and save this. Let's just call this light and airy. See what it looks like in both Firefox and Internet Explorer. Very nice. I like that a lot. Looks pretty good in Firefox. See what it looks like in Explorer. Always good to check out both browsers. You just never know about Explorer. It's a hit or miss situation. Of course, it takes forever and a day to load too. It's a bloatware. Yeah, I run the block content. Okay, so that just, see how well that works? It just floats off the page like it stands right off the background. And we just grabbed two JPEGs, dropped them in, one to the left, one to the right, and made this a really nice looking theme and very easy to do. This is not hard at all. So Jeff wants to know what format I'm saving this as. This is we're just looking at it in Artist here, so it's saved as an Artist here. So it's going to be exported in as a WordPress theme. You can export these as HTML too. This is not a problem, but right now we're just previewing the theme in Firefox. And so previews is probably HTML. See up here at the top. Yeah, it's HTML. So there you go. When it exports as a WordPress theme, you just import this into WordPress and you know it's done. Okay. Any questions, concerns, comments? These are very, very easy. Now, some of the, and later on we're going to get into more complex designs, but I want you to be able to get this, get the easy ones down. Again, you find these themes very easily, out in WordPress, wallpapers, any of those types of things. Anything that's free, you can purchase. Photographs if you want, but I found enough free to, unless I absolutely need an image, if I have a certain site that I'm building specifically, have an idea or something, I can't find that image anywhere else, then I'll go ahead and purchase the image. But basically the free ones work very well. Okay, let's take a look out. What the heck is that news flash? I guess we just breaking news. I have no idea why this keeps. Let's try this green one here. This green one is kind of fun. So again, use a new canvas. Just start off here. Click on our images. Let's go out to our images, which are located in backgrounds. Or not. I think that one I put out into photographs. And I called it green something or other, didn't I? Yeah, here it is. Right here. Okay. See how it brings it in at 89%? We want this at 100%. So that gives us 897 by 482. 897 should be fine. Well, let's take it out a little bit more. Let's go 1,000. Now remember, we're changing the canvas, not this picture right now. Let's go 1,000. And see that it puts it out to 1,000 here, and we're at 897. So we've added a little over 100 pixels. So let's just go snap to trim canvas, and that probably took us back to 897. Yeah, let's just do 1,000. At least the bottom we're at 482, so let's just take it out to 1,000. Let's just move this up, and let's just pull this out a little bit. Sometimes when we stretch them, they get a little goofy looking, so we have to really be careful. But I think 1,000 is okay on this. That looks good. All right, that's all we're going to do on this. We're just going to export this background, bitmap export. See, there's our site. Export it as a JPEG into backgrounds. Now we've changed this now, so let's just do green, lights, or swirls. Let's do swirl. Green swirl, that's much better. Okay, new, WordPress, import the background. Want to know what we're getting, what kind of colors. So let's go green swirl, top center. I'm choosing no columns on these, mainly just to see the layout, so you get to see them very easily. We're going to offset this sheet probably 200. Let's go 200 and see if it, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to set this off 200. In fact, what we can do here, see that we're not down far enough. If I take the sheet and get rid of all the transparency, it kind of hides this. I want a little bit more of the green swirls up here. So what can we do to change that? Well, what we can do is we can just make another, cut this down a little bit. So take out a lot of this that we're missing, because we're limited in Artisteer. We can only come down 200 pixels from the top offset. We're not really seeing enough of our swirls out here. You know, it's kind of lost out here. And if we take this, our fill color of our sheet, and take it right up to pure white, FFFF, all the way down, see, it's just not as, you know, as pretty looking, let's say. Okay, how can we do this? Well, let's just go and grab a snippet. Let's just grab this. Let's cut it down a little bit right here. See if this doesn't do it. All right, let's save this now as our green swirl. Just overwrite that image. Don't really need it. See, we saved as a JPEG with the screen capture. It automatically, in here, we can configure this for the settings to save specifically as, where is it at? Miscellaneous. I think we can see save as screen DPI. I guess when we copy it, we can save it as whatever we want. That's probably it right there. Save as. Yes. Okay, so we can save as JPEG, bitmap, PNG, whatever. I choose to save as a JPEG. I'm not saving this though. Okay, over to Artisteer, we're going to change out this background. You notice how far down we are, and we still can't really see a whole bunch. So let's go grab our cut down background. That should move it up a little bit. Yeah, see, much better. Top center. Now we can see some things. Okay, now we have to do to cover up this little white bar is we do our top offset. Let's just move it up. Too much. We were at 200. Let's go to, you can still see it, 180. That looks good. All right, now we're going to change our colors over to something that's a little greener. So let's go with green apple. Look at that. You just couldn't do any better. Okay, grab our green out here with Pixie. Let's, what green are we going to grab? Let's just grab this green right here. This is not going to blend all the way because see we're darker at the top here and it kind of gets lighter. So we will have a little bit of discrepancy, but it'll still, I think, look pretty decent. Make sure that green gets cut in. See how that works? Maybe a little bit too dark. Let's try a gradient and see if that helps it out a little bit. How about if we lighten it down? Well, we may just have to, we may have to save this for a more advanced class up the way because I can show you how to fix this, but I don't want to get too deep today. But see at the bottom here how it blends in with the top. It really stands out. I don't really care for that too much, but it's not an easy way to fix it, but we can take this and actually turn this into something that, well, let's see if we can fix it real fast. Let's see, where do we save this? Okay, let's see if we can fix this without having to let's just do a mega render. And a mega render will take, and it'll take this, yeah, that's not going to work because it pulls it out to 2000. Let's see if we can pull this down the page. Well, I'm going to do a mega render just for the heck of it. See what this does at 2 times, so we're going out to 200 by 964. If we do this 4 times, we go out to 4000 by 1928. That should take up the whole space. So it puts a big old block of green swirl on the background. Let's just call this large. Let's see what this looks like. This may or may not fix it. So we do our background, go grab it again. It's not going to look the same, but let's just see what it looks like with the mega render. Whoa! Let's go top center. Too much. Although, you know, that doesn't look too bad with that swirl on it. Let's move our top offset up to 100. So we come down a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, see, it doesn't fill the bottom. See, this is one of the problems here is the background. I didn't want to get into problems this early in the game, but you might as well see the ugliness of it. These two were pretty. Now we fixed our background. Okay, there we go. You know, that's not too bad. If this swirl was up a little bit, but there's some other things we can do to make it a little bit prettier. But see how we did that? Just changed the background, made it a mega render, and see it's basically now the whole background is green. And then you can do, you know, here's something that you can do to make this look a little bit neater. You can go ahead, grab this. See, now you put the green back in it with the swirl. Take out the tagline, and we can. I don't want the slogan in there. We might want to take the green and put that at the bottom. But see how that kind of swirls around on the header too? I think that looks a little bit better. So we've got swirl up here. We can go ahead and put some text in here and make it look a little bit more decent. Put a column on the right. And of course, get rid of our date, author, editor, and comments. Change our table border width and our picture. See, the padding, I think, works on the header. So we've got a little white a white outline around there, and then we've got a little bit of a darker green. So, you know, this works. It's not super great. It's not as neat as the other two, but it works. Okay, any questions? Any questions, concerns, comments? Okay, real fast. Let's grab another one. Let's get rid of some of these. Choose a new one. Let's grab another background here, see what we can find. Here's a, oh, this is pretty neat. Let's go 100% on this. 1200 by 795. And let's just go ahead and trim canvas. So you can see this is one I pulled out from WordPress. We've got some really neat stuff here. Pencil, we've got flowers. So this is a great background to use. Export it as a JPEG. So let's save this as pencil and flowers. Artist steer. And we'll just go ahead and go new. Not going to save that green one, but you get the idea. Some of them just don't work. Some of them work really great. Some of them you just you'll be an hour into it or so, and you can't get it to work. Just got to move on. Okay, so we're going to change the background out here. So let's go ahead, grab that from File, the background we just saved, pencils and flowers, or pencil and flowers. Did I save that in this directory or in my custom background? So we're going to be no, where the heck did I save that? Thought I saved it here. Oh, here it is, pencil flowers. Duh. Okay, top center, we're going to center this guy. Going to get rid of our column. Or sheet. Let's go no transparency right now so we can not have any bleed through. And let's move our, well actually we need to see a little bit. So let's see how wide we are. Let's go width. Let's go down to 800 and see if that doesn't, yeah, that's good. And let's go top offset. See if that's good. Let's move it down a little bit more. Okay, about 166. See, we're right where it goes black here, but we won't be able to see that when we've changed the transparency of the sheet. See, so we're perfect. Now, the colors on here are a little bit different. This is not a true black, so we want to grab Pixie. Well, actually, first thing we want to do is we want to find a matching color for this. Sunflower, let's see if that doesn't fit. Not so much. The green and black, I'd like to see a little bit more yellow in there, but It's definitely green. I think that works a little bit better. Let's grab our background color. Go right down over here. Control C. Background, fill, Control V. Okay, just like that. See how that just fades out? And articles, let's go date, author, edit, category, tags, comments. And, you know, I think that this lends itself to right-sided column. Green kind of fits in there. That green sure shines at the bottom. Okay, we want to fix the background again. So, fix the background. I'm not so sure any of that green really works. So let's do this. Let's grab a green off of this leaf up here. And let's go to our blocks, header, fill, and see if that color doesn't change a little bit. So you want to be looking at these colors right here. Yeah, I think that works a little bit better. Let's add a little bit of a glare in there too, or gradient, excuse me. Let's do, okay, that's pretty. And let's change that footer, because that thing is just nasty looking. Change this to transparent. And fill color, I want that same color, same green. So let's change it right here. And let's go ahead and do the padding with no padding, so that puts it right out to the edge. Okay, a little bit better, and we'll do a little bit of a gradient in there. Yeah, that's a little bit nicer looking. Okay, I think that looks good. Now, on this one, we could actually take this image if we had, you know, then whatever we're going to do for the name of our site, and we're going to put something right up here. Let me show you how to do that in just a sec. But I think we're good on this one. Any questions so far? That's a really nice looking setup. Okay, let's go over here to our text, and let's drop some text in here. Now I'm going to choose impact. You want to choose something that people can read. Impact, Verdana, Arial, bold. Any of these you can read. Let's go with a little bit bigger font. Let's go text goes here. Okay, so we could drop in our text, and we could drop in another line in here, say a smaller line. And let's make this Hattenschweiler. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, the great thing about this is you want something a little bit longer, just pull it out. Grab it, tuck it down, pull it down, whatever you want. That's not enough difference, though, to make this stand out for me. Let's try Let's try something else here. Let's go with Arial. Let's go with Broadway. What the heck? That is different. There we go. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, taller. Okay, now what can we do with the text? Let's make this the colors. Let's blend it with this background. Right click, color pick. Let's grab an orange for that. So there's the orange. Let's grab this one. Right click, color pick. Let's go yellow. Okay, now I want to do the same exact thing for both of them. Oops. Let's just do an undo. I may not be able to grab both at the same time, but I would without having to. I would like to without grabbing the background. I'm probably not going to be able to do that. But let's just go ahead and we're going to use this box right here. So let's go shadow. Let's actually go to effects, shadow. So we're going to drop shadow. See how that does that? We're going to do the same thing for this text. Drop shadow. It makes it stand out a little bit. Now we can bevel this. Let's just do a real smooth bevel. And then we can do our sliders here. So we slide down, see how that turns it into a bevel, but it makes it, turns the shades into it. I like to flatten it out a little bit more. That's just me though. So you see this a lot. I do this quite a bit. We've done it on this guy. Let's do it on this one. So we do a smooth bevel, and then we just take our slider buttons and move them over. Now you can move your shadow around in here however you'd like it. And to make this pop just a little bit more, let's do a copy of it. And let's just do a paste. See how that jumps off the page? Let's do this. Copy. And paste. See how that just jumps off the page? See how that goes with everything? I mean, the colors just blend. That's gorgeous. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Save the background. We're going to save this as demo. Let's just save it as text demo. Come back over here to Artist here. We're just going to drop that background in very quickly. You see how it looks with nothing up there? I think this is text demo. Yep. Top center. There you go. Look at that. There's our professional looking site with our text that we just dropped in. Preview in our browser. Excuse me. Look at that. Oh, yeah, it flaked out on me when went over here. So we've got to go back to Artist here. We've got to fix our background so it doesn't scroll. Now let's take a look at it. There we go. See that? I mean, that is a professional looking theme that we didn't spend a whole lot of time on. You can I think the text could do a little, we could do a little bit of work with that. Let's go in here to fonts. Let's go with, let's see, Broadway and Verdana. Yeah, I think that works. Let's go with our scale up about 120. And let's see what that looks like. Much better, I think. You read it a little bit better, and you've got some decent looking headlines. Of course, you can change this to your particular, whatever you want. This would be a really good theme for your growers, planting, anything having to do with like springtime planning, affiliate programs with flowers, that sort of thing. This would be a really good theme for that. You got the dirt, you got the grass, and see how it just fades out into the background. Very easy to do. Any questions? Yeah, everyone get that? We've only got about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to open up the lines and I'll take your questions. So ask away. We're done for today. Questions, concerns, comments? You don't want me to go pick on you now. I'll open up the lines and go picking on you. So Danny asks, I'm going to unkey you. Okay, Danny. What do you mean the canvas? The canvas over on RealDraw Pro?
Well, on Artisteer, just to make sure that most smaller monitors, do you want to make the size 800 pixels or 900 pixels?
Well, I go from anywhere from about 750 up to 1,000 or 1,100. I stay within that range, and I've never had anyone complain they couldn't see any of my sites. So
Okay.
You know, 750. When it gets down below about 700 or so, now you're getting into real thin, and I'm not able to pack anything onto that page. If it's a sales page, it'd be a different story, but you'd be running text kind of close together, I would think. A 750, I start to get a little uncomfortable at 750 because it's starting to get pretty thin for me. But 750 up to about 1,100 is where I like to stay. I think on this one,
okay.
What was the sheet? See, we're at 800 on the sheet on this one, so that's a nice size.
Right. Yeah, it is. Okay.
All right, thanks. Any other questions? Questions, concerns, comments? Now, when you do your background image, see your background image is in RealDraw Pro here. The image itself, if we take a look at our project, see we're 1,200 wide. Now, there are some big monitors, especially now that are doing 17, 18, 1900 wide. So they would definitely see edges on this. So that's why we go into Artisteer and we take this black, we match the color perfectly, and then we drop that in so the image that we have blends with the rest of the background, and then we fix the background so it doesn't move. Now, if it moved on bigger screens when it went to scroll, we'd have big white block at the bottom when it ran out of real estate, because see, on our original project we're only 795 for height. So once it reached 796 on a scroll, we'd see white. But because we fixed the background, the only thing that scrolls is the site. So when we're scrolling here, we could add as many posts as we could have 30 posts going down here, and I'd just continue to scroll up. The background would never move, and we'd never see any white down here. It would be clean. Look very nice. Any other questions? Questions, concerns, comments? Julie, Caldoon, I'm going to unkey Caldoon because you always have questions. You're just quiet as a mouse.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. That's why. No, honestly, Guy, you've just implanted so many ideas into my head like you won't believe, and this is just the first lesson.
Yeah, so you got, and you're selling sites like crazy out there, you little madman.
Oh yeah, I'm going crazy with that too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, but you kind of understand the process here?
Actually, it's very easy. It's nothing difficult, really.
Absolutely, that's the whole idea. Okay, I'm going to unkey everyone because we're done for the day, and we'll get into some much more complicated designs and things. Next week, hope everyone enjoyed it. It'll take about 6 hours to compile the recording. It'll be out on the site later tonight or tomorrow, Everyone have a great Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before next week. We'll see everyone next Tuesday.
Okay, guy. Thank you.
Okay, bye now.